Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Perth Sevens. It is a crucial game for these two sides. Whoever wins still has a chance of going through to the semi-finals. The loser, well, they will miss out. Currently, France, their starting lineup will be Delamere, Rebage, Boyer, who did score in the last game that we did cover on the channel, Bosmarin, who does get the start this time, Andy Timo, Artaud, and Simon Dezay, the last French player in the starting side. For New Zealand, they have got Rob Rush, Kitiona Vai, Tony Nashu, Regan Ware, Brady Rush, Akulia Roka-Lesoa, and Frank Vainuku, the last in the starting lineup. At the moment, Australia sit top of this group. They are sitting on the 6 points. Neither of these two sides have got themselves a victory from their first opening fixtures, or in fact, no, that might be a lie. France did get the win over Great Britain in round number 1, I remember rightly. They got themselves 3 points. New Zealand are on 2. Great Britain are also on 3. So one of those three sides will confirm their spot through, more than likely the winner of this game. Okay, bro, I'm going now, says VG5. So we will more than likely see you tomorrow for the semi-final involving Fiji and perhaps one of these two sides. But it's kicked off by the Kiwis, gone through the hands of the French, but well regathered from just outside of their 22. Oh, bit of a mistake there too. Early nerves maybe for the French in this contest. Dezay was the man who took the contact, and New Zealand went for the counter-ruck, but they have been penalised. That is something that was heavily happening throughout their last game up against the Australians, I want to say it was. In fact, no, who was their last game, New Zealand? It was Great Britain. They gave away a ton of penalties in their opening contest. Still a few up against Great Britain, but nowhere near as many as up against Australia. And come on, Kiwi, let's get one win at least. Says Sock there. Yeah, we do know at the moment whoever wins or whoever makes it through to the 5th place semi-finals will be playing Argentina and Spain. That has been confirmed. Fiji and South Africa through to the semis. We'll have to wait to find out who goes where. Still Australia versus Great Britain around the corner as well in the Sevens competition. Now big run from Andy Timo. Tackled by Akulia Roka-Lesoa, who manages to drag him down. If New Zealand lose this game, I won't bother watching the next game. So here's Jasmine. Back across to the left. Another step from Artaud. The outside to Dezay. A Sevens commentary where Hamish cuts his teeth. As a commentator says, Powerbite 92. Yeah, we've done a lot of Sevens on the channel throughout the years. And a lot of hours throughout this weekend on the Sevens too. Even more to come. Go the ABs, you've got this, says Mavstar. And our men need some lessons from our ladies. Thanks, man, for commentating Fiji and South Africa. No worries at all. We've got plenty more coming up. Another penalty goes against New Zealand. Straight off the feet as the call in the breakdown. So the Kiwis penalised twice in the early stages of this match. And that question of whether the ill discipline would hurt the Kiwis now. Yes, at the moment it has. Well, another nil-all game. Second one today. Says BTW Padsa. Well, I think Novmum informed us New Zealand USA was the first game involving a side to finish on a nil. Fun fact. I think that's the only one so far, right? New Zealand's last two losses to France have both been by 2 points. They do love a close game, the Kiwis. Most of the time it is down to a missed kick. That has cost them trying to line up that throw for the French, and it is not straight from Bosmarin. And it will now give New Zealand the chance at scrum time. They were putting a lot of pressure on there, the All Black Sevens. Try and stop the French from getting that ball in cleanly. 4.5 minutes still on the clock for this first period of time. And as we've learned from that Fiji game, it doesn't matter if you're leading at half time. The oppositions can still come back. France have held New Zealand to 15 points or less than the last 4 meetings, as the other stat. I'd be curious to know how many tries New Zealand have scored in those games, though, because 15 or less may have been 3 tries for the New Zealanders. In fact, the chance of it being 15 because of 3 unsuccessfully converted tries would actually be quite high. New Zealand almost up to the halfway line, now firing it back to 40 metres out from their own line. Big, huge, wide cutout pass to the left. Trying to find his way through was Kitiona Vai. Tony Nashu. Across to Regan Ware. They have got a huge amount of the experience out there at the moment for the Kiwis. But Akulia Roka-Lesoa passes it back to Kitiona Vai. In fact, that time it's Frank Vainuku. 3 minutes remaining in the first half of play. Back across to the left-hand side, big wide, skip pass from Tony Nashu. That is twice that he's gone for that move. Kitty on Evai manages to get the fend in on the outside, and New Zealand will strike first in this contest. And we'll know that this job is not done though. They struck first up against GB twice to go on to lose that game. Sevens is that perfect example of you never know what's going to happen till the final whistle. But it was a wide cut-out pass twice in a row from Tony Nashu. He obviously liked it the first time. Felt like there was the opportunity to use it again. I don't see the French falling for it for a third time. Surely they have worked out how to cover that one now. Now, important kick here for Akulia Rokalisoa. And does get it over, making the score now 7-0 in favour of New Zealand. I've just mentioned here that New Zealand are enjoying not having the ball. They love a counter-attack, although I do think that they still need plenty of possession. Pakistan pulled off a miracle of the year. Yeah, they did very well to win that game. It looked like it was unlikely at one point. Tony Nashu, counter-ruck coming here from New Zealand, but not successful. Now France offloading it to Artaud. Trying to cut his way up the middle of the field. Not having someone like a Grandidier has certainly been felt for this French side, as well as no Stephen Perez-Martin, no Pauline Riva. They're actually missing a very long list of their French players that would normally help this side succeed. Back across to the right-hand side. Now for the French, little shimmy there. Moving up to the halfway. Thought about another offload and does manage to find it now. Passed on the outside to Artaud. It was close to forward. Popped back inwards for Bowie. Oh, Brady Rush just flipped straight over the middle of the breakdown. I don't think he meant to do that. He put his weight in the completely wrong place. But now France moved this one away to the left. 22 metres out from the line. Big run from Andy Timo. Gets the offload away. It hits the fingertip of the French winger. But it doesn't quite stick to Liam Delamere's hand. And it will now be New Zealand's choice of scrum or line out in this situation. Just a 1 minute now left on the clock. This first half has actually gone very quickly. I'm sure it's felt like a very fast-paced one for these two sides as well. Andy Timo looks like maybe nursing a little bit of a limp on his left-hand side. New Zealand, they are looking for the line-out. So I think they're actually saying that it didn't touch the fingertip of Liam Delamere. Puts the pressure on the Kiwis to get that line-out right, which they have been able to do so. Akulia Rokalisoa fires it away to the left-hand side. Bit of a rough pass there. Regan Ware has dropped the ball. Played it on the ground by Andy Timo, so they will go back for the scrum. Another 500 tries, New Zealand. Says Jasmine. Uncle, can I ask a question? Says Mahadine. You really don't have to call me uncle. Like, Hamish is fine. But you may ask the question. Of course, depending on what it is. The halftime siren now just sounding. New Zealand gifting a golden opportunity here for the French just out. Well, it's 7-0 to New Zealand, says JD. It is for now. But all I'll say once again is GB versus New Zealand was 12-0 in favour of the Kiwis. They went on to lose that game. Now ready to feed it in. Is this the chance that the French needed to be able to get back into the game? Artaud goes away to the right. Does try the fend. Pops it on the inside. One more pass. This should be the try for Dazay. In fact, does he? No. Doesn't go on the outside. Instead, Artaud goes to Rebage. And it is the try for the French just on the halftime break. Can the Blitzboks still win the game? I assume you're talking about the whole tournament, right? Rather than the match that they had up against Fiji that's ended. But yes, they've got a perfect opportunity. They're through to the semi-finals, which is the main thing. And from there, they just had to make sure that they do that a little bit better than they did in Singapore last week. It's all that they need. 14 minutes of good, classy rugby, and they'll book themselves a spot to the final. I don't know who they'll be playing yet, though. It's more than likely going to be Australia, though. Which I honestly don't think is a terrible team to face in the semi-final. But they did make it through to the final last match. There's a man wearing a massive beret in the crowd, and the score is 7-7 between these two sides at half-time. So it is still a bit of a wait-and-see situation to see who will be qualifying where in this group. Once again, whoever wins this game, it might not actually matter if Great Britain beat Australia in the next contest. I'm just going to, while we're at half-time, check the odds of that game. Great Britain are considered as $4 underdogs in that contest up against the Aussies. But if they were to win that game, New Zealand and France both knocked out. Yes, can I call you uncle? Probably, like, it's probably better just to call me Hamish, because at the end of the day, I think we're about the same age. So calling me uncle, it's a bit different. Blitz flops shall be dropped to D division. They are trash. They're currently sitting in third in the overall standings. They made their way through to the final. The semi-finals. So they're doing a lot better than some teams. Brother, I would prefer brother than uncle, to be fair. If you don't want to use my first name, brother would be better than uncle. But once again, Hamish is also fine. Most people know me as that. Now, ready for the second half to get underway. The temperatures have slightly dropped in Perth, but it's still pretty toasty out there on the park, I'm sure. Have you been watching the Super Rugby Pacific preseason games? I have been. Interestingly enough, only side undefeated throughout those preseason games was the Chiefs. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next in the regular season, whether or not they can come into that first game up against the Blues and get it well and truly going. Sad attempt to rage bait, shame U12, says Cape Tonian. And we have got there, is it the last game today? It is the last game that we are covering. I know that man in the bondage. I don't know why he's decided to wear that. I used to play, he was in my cricket team back when I used to play for regional cricket. Nice to see him doing well. We've got, can I call you Sweetie Pie? No. The commentators are speechless from him. They all enjoy that. But yeah, last game that we are covering today, but there's still Australia versus Great Britain just around the corner. That I'm not going to be covering on the channel. But the next two games that we are doing are the Six Nations fixtures. Now, line out throw for New Zealand on the halfway line. We've got the smiling face from Pedza. Now, Kulia Rokalisoa ready to fire this ball into the line out. It looks like there was a bit of a miscommunication there and a bit of an argument between a couple of the New Zealand senior players. Have to get on the same page, though. Do you know how bad Fabian's injury is? Not yet. But hopefully we'll find out something in the near future in terms of before that first round for the Highlanders. I mean, we'll know if it's not that bad if he somehow ends up in the lineup, but it does seem like he's going to be out for a little bit of time. Nice ball on the inside to Brady Rush. Can't quite find the offload option as there were plenty of players in the way. Now off left-hand side, Akulia Rokalisoa going now to Kitiona Vai. He did score the first try of the contest for New Zealand. Their only try there too. That is another penalty. Trying to get this one moving quickly. Now off to the right-hand side, breaking the line here. Oh no, a pass there straight into touch. I think New Zealand are trying to say that it hit the hand of one of the French players. He is doing a lot of finger pointing there, Brady Rush. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be awarded. It is now going to be a French line out from inside of their own 22. Score still sits 7-all. Still time left on the clock though. This one could go to Golden Point, to be fair, and it would be quite a nice way to finish the group stage for these two teams. The Australia, Great Britain, of course, is the one that has taken place straight after this game. Ready to throw it in now. Does go to the front. I think New Zealand were trying to say that that one was not... Oh, that was close to a high shot from the Kiwis. No penalty advantage. Arto now passes on the outside. That'll be Dezay running down the wing with his pace. Goes to Arto on the inside. Offload once more. This is nice work from France, keeping the ball alive. Looking for those quick... Oh, it's the knock on though. Or was it? No, it's off the boot. We play on again. Now Desire on across to the left once more to Bosmarin. Looks like quite a few changes have been made by the French, but the penalty awarded to New Zealand with Tony Nashu. If they go golden shower, are we the ones getting pissed on, says Soch. And also, we have got, there it goes both ways, son, says JD. That was a very delayed response. I had to look back through to see if it had actually been the same thing that we were looking at in that conversation. Tony Nashu just locking himself over the ball. One of the turnover for his side. Four minutes, or just over that remaining now. AJ Jacobs just calling for the French line-out to be set. I don't think whoever scores the next try in this game has necessarily won this game either. Oh, nice run from Kitiona Vai. Going short side, wrestled into touch, or at least it looked their way. And there's a knock on from New Zealand, who are not happy with the decision from AJ Jacobs. Okay, I think he was trying to say that they were dragging him out after he had placed the ball, but by that stage it had already been knocked on by the New Zealanders by the looks of it. We're going to see the replay now. Ooh. To be fair, France kind of ripped that ball off him, so he's probably got a fair argument there, the Kiwi. From that other angle, it did look more like France played that ball while he was grounded. Morgan Turanui on the commentary has just said it should have been a penalty to New Zealand. How crucial could that moment be in this game now? Arto does put the ball in. Oh, a little knock on at the back of the scrum by France, or at least it looked that way. I think the referee said it's come off a boot. So it is going to be play on. Here comes the pace at Nelson Epe. I know how dangerous he can be and elusive. He can be as well. Oh, big clean out in the breakdown from New Zealand. I feel like they're more fired up than they've been throughout the rest of this game. Now they want to get the win. With the controversy that's happened, and it is going to cost the Kiwis a try. France are going to go the full length of the field. Looks like he's really putting in the hard yards here, Bohier. But he will score it as his fifth or sixth place playoff. It is not. It is still in the group stage. Whoever wins this game has a chance of going through as long as Great Britain lose. But that is the way that this one can kind of shape up. It is the big full field try, though, from the French. And still pool play. We'll be playing in the quarters, says Amanasi. So we go straight to semi-finals. So far, the teams that are confirmed in the semis are Fiji, South Africa, and Australia. They are the three confirmed teams. They are once again showing those two men that I know. The commentators are speechless every time that they show them. I get rid of the South African ref, says Mavster. Now across to the right-hand side, New Zealand now breaking the line themselves. It's going to be a bit of a foot race. Oh no, one of the French players just collapsed from exhaustion after chasing after Frank Wainuku. And they're in the game again, the Kiwis. Looks like it took just as much out of the try scorer as it did the men chasing. We'll mention France also managed to get that conversion over, so 14 points to 7 was the way it was sitting, but now it's back to 14-12. As Fiji number one with the Sevens, these guys just crush every team, says Anders, so they are sitting number one in the overall standings at the moment. They are, I believe, 4 points clear of second place, which is South Africa, and then New Zealand is second place in the overall standings. The kick has gone over from the Kiwis too. And then it is South Africa and France tied for third. Now this game, 14-14. Last two times that these two sides have played, France have won it in both matches by the 2 points, too many baguettes, and 1.5 hours on the treadmill, says Big Rig. And I think all the teams are really struggling with the heat. Oh, interception, what a take from Kelly Lasanga. The pass was thrown by France. Lasanga takes the opportunity to score it, and that may just now be the game, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is, it still doesn't confirm their spot in the semi-finals, purely because of the fact that Great Britain, if they win, they go through in that next contest up against the Australians. What an intercept. Yeah, brilliantly picked out from Lasanga. He gets fist bump Says Sock in there as well. Now the kick straight out in front of the post. It has been scored by the Kiwis, and now with 30 seconds remaining on the clock, New Zealand now lead 21 points to 14. You can see how crucial of an error that may have been. It would sit New Zealand in second place and give them half a chance of making it through to the next stage. Kicked high, slapped back by New Zealand. Scott Gregory, tackled low by Nelson Epe. France straight on the ball, and they have managed to get the clean turnover, so they have chance to make this into a golden point game. They would need a try, and they would need the conversion to go alongside it. Now Rebage, he's already scored one. Oh, that's a really ugly chopping tackle on his knee. Just the way that he fell did look rather awkward. Toe goes back across to Nelson Epe. They have to make their tackles here. New Zealand, Scott Gregory just missed one. Lasanga misses one. New Zealand now having a chase after the French player. He's heading towards the corner. It looks like a great chase though from the youngster Manson. Keeps it alive, or does he? It's given France a better chance to score, and they will score it close to the try. Oh, he almost didn't get that down. It also looked like a high shot from New Zealand, but the crazy thing is, in that scenario, had Michael Manson not made that tackle and France had scored in the corner, they probably would have missed. So the crazy thing now is with that one extra phase, they're probably going to go to golden point here. It's a high shot from the Kiwis who tried to defend it. It was Rob Rush who did hit him high, so this could end up being a yellow card and a penalty try here. Rob Rush holds it up initially. He keeps it off the ball and eventually it goes down, but did the French player lose the grounding or lose control of the ball there? That is the question. He doesn't have it initially. This is a big call, and this could determine whether or not we go to golden point time. The initial contact is actually high anyway from Rob Rush, so I believe he will be going to the bin for 2 minutes, and with that it would be a penalty try for the French. Okay, the ball is lost by France. However, there's a high tackle from New Zealand, which becomes a penalty try, a yellow card, and in golden point, New Zealand play with 6. Michael Manson, brilliant defence, but then it forced them back infield. You just wonder, I know that it's a risk, right? But do you let France score in the corner there? I know that that's not the mindset that any of these players would be having. But at least that way, maybe the chance of a missed kick could have been on the card. So Rob Rush will not be taking part in golden point, or at least for the first 2 minutes of said golden point period. Whoever scores next will win this game and will help book themselves just that little bit closer to a semi-final fixture. You can't play with 6 in a sevens game, says Xander, and New Zealand are going to have to try. It's a big call. Let's go with the red card, says Xander there. Things are never simple, are they? To be fair, I said I wouldn't mind a golden point game. I don't know whether this was the one that I was expecting it for. France kick out at 2.9. Are we getting pissed on? And Vites now says Jasmine in there too. So now, pretty much anyone who's unfamiliar with golden point time, you have 5 minutes where you have the potential of being able to score or get yourself any sort of drop kick, penalty, you name it. But whoever gets the first point wins this game and keeps their hopes of going through alive. Now, the funny thing is, if Great Britain win their game just around the corner up against Australia, this game would be for nothing. Other than like where these two sides would rank playing off the 5th. So you'd almost like to think with the fact that we're going to golden point, that wouldn't be the case, but it can still happen. Sevens, it's brutal. Definitely the group stage fixtures, but... Right. The toss has been done. We are now ready for golden point time. These two sides will be fatigued as well after the pace that they have played for the full 14 minutes. Michael Manson have a bit of an X Factor moment. I know that he is his number one fan who isn't here at the moment. He was here for the earlier streams. We'll be able to be the game changer. Get up the All Blacks. Will New Zealand get ball and golden point? Or are they kicking off that France get ball? Says Xander. We're about to find out. Again, the man in the gimp suit. Once again, I do know those two guys. I didn't realise they were in Perth, though. I wonder if they're over there for a holiday or whether they are just actually working over there. Obviously, you get enough sleep when you stream through the night. Do you miss a lot of sleep? Sorry for asking, Cicelo. I do miss a lot of sleep on the weekends, but I do try and catch it up just in the early stages of the week. France kicked that one off and they managed to retain the ball. Andy Timo. The ball in hand. Was it called as a maul? His knees are down. It was called as a maul, though, and New Zealand will now get themselves the scrum. It is a call that doesn't make the French happy. New Zealand now have themselves the scrum. Oh, so they have a coin flip for golden point? They do, yes, and that determines who receives kickoff and which way the teams go. They've actually just said there that it should have been a penalty awarded to France due to New Zealand going in through the wrong side is the call. I am actually wearing my favourite t-shirt. Hope Puma pays you, says Brian. They sadly do not. I probably have a different one on for the Six Nations, only because I've been in this one for a very long time. It's on a knife edge, says Danielle. When is Scotland and England's game? Says Mohadeen. So Scotland's game is kicking off in around 2.5 hours. And that England versus Wales game is kicking off in around 5 hours. But we are going to be covering both of them on the channel with a little bit of build-up in there as well. Counter-ruck from the French, managing to steal that ball back, going away to the right-hand side. Chance here for France to be able to score in golden point. And the thing is, they don't even need the conversion. Oh, great tackle from Regan, where both players actually slipping over in the process. Knock on from France. New Zealand have the scrum feed and what has been an intense start to golden point time. I only miss sleep on the weekends. Relatively. I do miss a little bit of sleep during the week as well, but on the weekends, I mean, we've been up for probably about, I don't know what it would be, probably about 18 hours at the moment, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe about 16 hours, but I'm going to be up for a lot more, going right through until around 7 hours time, and I'm Mosim. And you remember me, says Mosim. I certainly do. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're excited for more sevens taking place here too. And Box versus France and Singapore. Says Mosim, and the Box are through to the semis. And perhaps the French could be too if they can get themselves a try here soon. New Zealand, though, couple metres out from their line. We've got to remember they are still playing with 6 men out there on the field at this point in time. Come on, boys, finish off the French. Says Mavstar, now breaking the line, or at least trying to. Regan Ware. New Zealand have to be very careful with your offloading, because when they do have one less man out there on the field, it does mean that they've got one less chance of being able to defend a counter-attack. Tackle made on Tipo. Now, tackle on Scott Gregory. 2 minutes remaining of this first extra time period. Regan Ware trying to bulldoze his way through. All told to get out of there for the French once more. All kick downfield from Michael Manson. Was he taken out? I think maybe. Or at least he looked like he was bumped in that scenario. And now France are going to be able to run this one back with 6 versus 7. There's the chance that they needed. Another big tackle made by Manson. Drives him into touch. But the ball was offloaded just beforehand. France autocorrect, sorry. No worries at all. But France, they are still playing with the man advantage. And New Zealand will be so fatigued. That looked like a forward pass around the halfway line. But in the breakdown penalty one by New Zealand here, they take the quick tap. No, Kelly Lasanga needs to think about that. As his player, had he taken it quickly, wouldn't have been able to return, and New Zealand would have still been playing with 6. But Rob Rush is back out there now. He will be fresh, and in fact, the freshest player out there on the field for New Zealand. Go for the 3. It's 55 metres out. So I don't think they're going to get it there, but they will be kicking this one towards the sideline, making sure that it goes out. Like they've said, both sides will be extremely fatigued. What type of impact is this going to have on their semi-final tomorrow? Once again, if they get there, there is still a chance that Great Britain beat Australia, and this game, again, means nothing other than playing off the 5th. This game is not good for my heart. I'm sure I've aged 200 years. And come on, France, says JD. 9-out throw for Kelly Lasanga. Throwing it into the front, nicely taken by New Zealand once more. They are back to 11. A step there from Vainuku. Couldn't quite get the pass away. Oh no, Lasanga having a moment there where it almost looked like he was going to knock that ball on. Manages to sneak through. He's a slippery one. Can't quite break that last tackle. Lasanga plays half again. Rob Rush, there's an advantage for New Zealand. So they can potentially go for the three-pointer here, or Vainuku will take it quickly, which he does. Has support on his outside. Manson, can Vainuku go over? He certainly can. And New Zealand win a golden point up against the French. It took till pretty much the full 5 minutes for them to be able to break through. They're showing Mr. Gimp Suit again. And New Zealand managed to get themselves the victory. Frank Vainuku was held initially and just kept on powering through. But I want France to win to come home. Says Musim there. Yeah, New Zealand, they have booked themselves a potential spot to the semi-finals now. Depending on what happens in this next game, if Australia win, it does mean that there will be Australia and New Zealand going through from this group. If Australia lose to Great Britain, it will be Australia Australia and Great Britain going through. That was intense. Now, we just need Oz to win. And how's Hamish, any news on the All Blacks' new coach? Not as of yet. It sounds like they've got about 3 candidates at the moment. Jamie Joseph, Dave Rennie, and then also the Ian Foster, Steve Hansen combo is the other one that's been talked about just a little bit. And they ain't winning no semi if they make it, says Sock. Although the only benefit would be it's a new day when they go out there and play. So that might benefit them just a little bit. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. On that Six Nations live stream in only a couple hours' time, we will inform you about who actually won in this match between Australia and GB. But plenty more sevens coming up tomorrow. Also, the 2 matches of the Six Nations later on in about 2 hours' time. So we'll see you all for the next ones.